Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lori. I'm the face behind Entre Tejidos Crochet and Lori's Crafty Corner. Today's video, I hope it's going to be a very interesting one because of the collection of videos that it will host. First things first, over the weekend I managed to finish. I wasn't ready for how amazing it turned out, but look at this. This is mostly ghostly crochets or creations. Sunbeam the Catalotl. It's a catfish or a cat mixed up with an axolotl. And at first I wasn't sure if the colors were going to go well. I knew that I wanted to use Summer Squash by Premier Yarns Parfait Chunky. And then I've been wanting to use up the eyelash yarn that I have from Premier Yarns. But I really, like, since it's so thin, I was like, well, I'll just triple strand them, which I did. I did have to go up a hook size in order to be able to save my hands from the pain, you know, as it came together. And then at the end, when I brushed it all out, I was like, did I make this? I did make it. And I'm so excited. I'm super happy with this. I know this is going to be a very interesting video because of all the little things that are going on, because we're taking a couple of days off. We're going somewhere and I hope to bring you with me, just show you a little bit of the clips here and there. I am pattern testing left and right. I just finished one for Straight Up Handmade. It's her Freya the Frog Snuggler. She released Finn the Frog earlier in the year and it was a hit. Now she's made a snuggler and I just finished pattern testing her. But I still need to sew things on. So what I'm doing is I plan on today and tomorrow to just try and get as much of the pattern tests done, as in, like, you know, work up all the pieces, and then like at night when we chill out and whatnot, just like sew everything. Hopefully that'll work out well. Not only am I pattern testing, so I have Freya, but Freya is done. A sea turtle that I'm pattern testing out as well. A mermaid, a Martian, it's an alien, and I hope I'm not forgetting anything. I hope I'm not forgetting any pattern test. Yeah, so at least 4 pattern tests. And I'm also having my Tirana turtle pattern tested out. So it's crazy, but we love crazy. Anywho, I'm working like in between projects. I grab my my yarn because I'm making a cherry pie inspired Tirana. It was actually one of the ideas from one of my testers and I'm excited for it. I'm excited. So yeah, welcome to this chaotic video. It's it's July and I just started up a new notebook. If you haven't, like, I don't think I've talked about notebooks before, but when I pattern test, I write out my notes. I know it's very old school, but it's how my brain works. So I just finished, this notebook is full to the brim of everything I pattern tested from January to June. Now I get to start a new notebook, and it's fitting that I just had like half of the year in one notebook and the other half hopefully in the other one. So yeah, let's get back to pattern testing. So it's the same day, but it's about 5 hours since the first update, and I've made pretty awesome progress with, I finished one other pattern test. I finished the mermaid, but finished it as I finished the frog snuggler, which was to get it to the point where I just have to like sew things on, and that's it. So all the pieces have been made, all the plushies have been like stuffed and whatnot, and I started on the second pattern test, which was one that I forgot, which is a Starfruit doll by Naughty Dreams, and it's breezing on. I'm breezing through. I just finished the arms. I need to start the legs, and then once you have like the arms and the legs just merge into the body and into the head. The other accessories just come together pretty quickly. So yeah, I hope to finish her today the same way. Just have like the little details that I need to sew on, and that's it. Now, of course, I have not been consistently crocheting for the past 5 hours, but I did in those 5 hours. I also did a couple of things around the house. I ate some lunch. I bathed our dogs. So they are not too happy with that because it's weird. They love playing with the hose, but they don't like to shower. Who, you know, go figure. And in between, like, I would stop and then the thing about pattern testing, at least for me, like, it takes me a while to do the pattern test because I usually go, so I grab my notebook. I'm old school, as I mentioned. And what I do is that I'll scan the pattern page by page, and I hope, like, I think I'm doing something right because I don't get any negative feedback about how I do it. You know, I know not everyone loves that, and I just go like, oh, there's a period missing here, and then it would flow better if it went like this. These are all just suggestions that I give to the different designers. In no way am I like overhauling their pattern and like, oh, do this is the right way. No, it's just get better, try and make their pattern better so that they don't get any negative messages like your pattern was too hard to understand, or you know, comments like that, because as a pattern designer I get those comments quite a bit. And no, I'm not like the guru of everything. No, this is just like, you know, things that I've come across as I've pattern tested, as I've pattern designed, and as I've worked up different patterns for, you know, different plushies. So basically what I do, yeah, this doesn't have like any important information about the pattern per se, but what I do is I'll write the name of the pattern test, the designer, and then the date that it's due, like the day that I'm supposed to turn in these pattern tests. I mean, my pattern notes and the final photos. And then over on this corner, I'll write what hook I used, the yarn, and then the size of safety eyes that I used, just so that like the designers have an idea, like if they made their doll, in this case it's a doll, if they made it in Parfait Chunky, this is how it might look if it's done in worsted weight yarn or in blanket yarn, and so on and so forth. And then what I'll do is I'll go page 1, and then if I don't see anything on there, I'll just write like gorgeous or all good, no issues, all great. But in the pages that I do have issues or suggestions, I'll just write, for example, maybe mention any yarn size may be used, which when we write a pattern, as a designer, I should definitely make my own pattern quite a bit of times. Not just like the one and done, write the pattern, send it to testers, that's it, boom. No. For my Terranet pattern, I made about 7 or 8 turtles in different yarn weights. So I made with Parfait Chunky, I made them with Basics Chenille, I made them with Bernat Blanket, just to make sure that all the pieces, when worked in these different yarns, you can still get the general look of the turtle, even if it's like smaller or bigger or that. What takes me a bit of time is, you know, when I And this is why I love having ADHD. I'm using it. It's my superpower. So what I love about it is that there are moments when my brain doesn't want to brain, and you would think, oh, you know, you should take a break, come back to pattern testing in a bit. No, I actually power through, because what my brain goes through, I would say that it's like if it were like relearning crocheting, because it's like, wait, what are you trying to say here? And then my brain starts to rethink and like think again and then double guess, and like it's crazy. But what it does is that I'm able to test the pattern as if I were a beginner, and it helps pick out any issues. Remember, when I say issues, or when I say you know, these details need to be fixed, it's not that there's something bad with the pattern, because it's not. More often than not, if not in every single sense, it's just how some things may be worded. The added perk, of course, and again, I'm not saying like, oh, you know, I'm Miss Perfect here, because I'm not. The added effect that I have ADHD and I'm fully bilingual, so sometimes when I'm writing a pattern, my brain might be thinking in Spanish, but I'll be writing in English. But with Spanish and English, the words are changed. They're like for example, el gato rojo, the red cat. So sometimes I'll write the cat red, as in the cat is the color red, but yeah, it's still understood, but it can be better. That's why it's taken me like five hours to finish a pattern test and get started on one, of course, and do some other things around the house. Finish this doll, get dinner started, and then like after dinner, once we're like chilling out and whatnot, I'll assemble all the things. That's actually a better idea. Yeah. Because that means that tomorrow I can take the final photos, and all of these pattern tests, these 3 that I've made, are due on the 6th. And I really want to like have those pictures and everything done before that. The other 2 are due on the 9th and the 10th. So I still have time to work on them a little bit. So yeah, I think I might do that. It might be a bit more responsible of me if I do it like that. Also, I'm pattern testing because I don't want to list any items on Etsy. So if you've seen my stories on Etsy, on Instagram, gosh, I'm mixing platforms. I removed all of the plushie listings from my Etsy shop because I am making an overhaul. I deactivated them, and behind the scenes, I'm working on adding new photos to them, updating descriptions, updating weights and all that good stuff, checking the tags, which sometimes is such a hassle, and all of that. And then hopefully halfway through July, I'll be able to have a major drop. And what I mean by major drop, in terms of listings that I have so far, and I have not added all the listings that are from the plushies that I made in June, I have about 60 listings. And some of these listings are of multiple listings. Like it'll be like Terranet Turtle, and then I'll have like the different designs that I have for Terranet. The reason that I'm doing this is because the reason that I'm doing a plushie drop is because I need to move. I need to rehome these plushies. There's nothing wrong with them. They were all made for a pattern test, or because I loved a pattern, or just because I wanted to make them. But they're all very well made, if I do say so myself. Each of the colors have been specifically selected for it to be a pretty project. Right in front of me, we have like these mirrored doors for the room's closet. Like I can peek behind me, and I have 3 boxes stuffed full of plushies that I would really love to rehome, but I am very much dragging my feet. But I think I've devised a way to make it lighter or less of a hassle. So what I did was I wrote down, first I pulled out all my plushies, which I showed you in a previous video where I was like taking pictures, like this is how I take pictures and whatnot. So I pulled out all of them, took photos of all of them. Again, I even grabbed some video of them to include in the listings. After that, what I did, because I was like, man, making a listing, writing the description, like making a listing from description up until publish is very, very, like, it's a hassle. It does take quite a bit of time to like write everything. You have to weight it, you have to check the box size and whatnot. I was like, wait, maybe we can do this like assembly line style. So what I did was to, okay, after I took all the pictures, I wrote down, and this is where I got those like 60 listings section. And what I did was, okay, I'm going to divide them into 6 steps. Step number 1, add the photo and the title. Step number 2 is to add the description, and if there are any variations, like if I have different turtles and whatnot, that's step 2. Step 3 is to add the shipping info, like this is how it's going to look when it's packaged up, this is how much it weighs. And then step number 4, actually I think there's only like 6. I mean, not 6, 5. Anyways, the 4th one is to add any like the tags, what materials I used and all that stuff, and you know. And the 5th one, if I'm not mistaken, is to like give it like an overlook of like, let's go through it, let's make sure that everything's okay. And once I do that for each of these listings that I've already made, then I can hit publish. So instead of like going, like making a listing from top to bottom and then moving on to the next one, I'm actually like in the zone for adding like, okay, I'm in the zone for adding all the pictures and the titles. So I'm thinking, this is how I'm gonna write my titles, and these are the pictures. And then some other time I might be like, okay, I am inspired, let's work on the descriptions and maybe variations of all of them. Once I'm done with each of the steps, do I then start the next step for each and every one of them? So it's very much assembly line style. And so far, I just have the titles and the photos added to each of these. So we're good, you know, we're working on them. They're all drafts. And yeah, the next step would be to make the description. But what I'm thinking is maybe creating like a sort of template for the description to have like these key information, and then just like write out like, this is the pattern that I used, it's made with this yarn. You know, you can, you know, just have like a sort of template that I can just switch out some things depending on the listing. Like if it's a cat, it's like, I'll do this and check the variations, and if the variations have different prices and all that stuff. The step that for me is the most daunting, or actually 2 of the steps that are daunting, is when I write the description and the tags. Like, what am I gonna put as a tag? And then we have the keywords thing, but you know, I don't want to start rambling. I don't want this video to be too long because I'm bringing you on vacation. That's the update for today. I'll check back soon. Bye. Hey, so we're on our way, yay. In the meantime, while we get there, I'm gonna be working on this is another check-in. We are still away. I managed to finish the Chupa Chups, the suction cups part of the tentacles, and I hope to make the tentacles today. To be honest, I hope to finish it today, mainly because where we are, it's beautiful, and I was like, ooh, I can take some awesome pictures of Anchor around the place, so hopefully I'll be able to finish him today. We're having a bunch of fun already, even though it's like today's gonna be our first full day here. Oh my goodness. Don't let the don't let my look fool you. And then I had a nice, sincere talk with myself, and I thought Tirana was going to be finished by next week, but I think we're going to have to extend the date one more time because I just wasn't feeling the look of the shell. And while I adjusted the shell, I also made some little adjustments to the fins and the head. So it was almost a major overhaul. Okay, no, it was a major overhaul of the pattern, but you know, I don't want to just like release a pattern just for releasing a pattern. So yeah, this is the way to go. This is the way. We're major Star Wars fans in our house, so yeah, this is the way. So yeah, I'll check back in later. Have a fun one. Bye. Okay, hopefully this is the last check-in of this video, but I have some sad news. This is my 8th and final Anchor tentacle. This is how much I have left. I was all excited thinking I had enough yarn, but no, turns out I don't. I didn't have enough yarn, which taught me two things. One, always read the pattern fully. Don't like whenever a pattern designer writes this is how much yarn you need, yeah, and it's always good to have an extra skein of yarn. It doesn't hurt. So the other thing I learned is that even though you think you haven't used the yarn yet, make sure you weigh it and double check that, because so the main color that I'm using is Basics Chenille in the color Orchid, and it's, if you look on Premier Yarn's websites, you have the brights, which are like the smaller skeins for like $3.99, and then you have the bigger skeins. I had one of the bigger skeins of Orchid, but apparently I had used a bit of that, and then looking through my photos on the phone, I was like, oh yeah, I used it for these accents, and I used it for this and that, and then of course I didn't have a full skein. So yeah, so this is what I have left. I already put in an order for the yarn because I am excited to finish this. It's absolutely stunning. So I'm excited to finish him. I'm sad that I wasn't able to finish him because when we got to where we're staying, I saw a bunch of places where I can like, oh, he would look so awesome, like taking pictures there, or maybe even filming a reel or something like that. But I did take pictures. of the tentacles. So hopefully I'll make a post of it about it, like, hey, pay attention to your yarn. Always err on having more yarn for a project than having like just a bit. I had to overhaul Tirana's overall look so that she matched with her sister's look as well. So the updates that I've done to the turtle worked out. I just need to go home and retake most of the pictures that I had taken of Tirana with her old look and hopefully get the pattern out by next week, which I'm excited. I love turtles. I love them. I love them. That's why I've been like going over and like going crazy. You're probably like, oh, she sounds like a broken record already. I think that's it for this week's video. My son is reminding me like and subscribe. Also leave a comment down below. I do try and get back to any and all questions that you may have. I try to respond. So yeah, I'll see you when I see you. Bye.